Something I've been thinking about a lot lately is money. As Democrats like to talk about all of the downfalls of capitalism and corporate greed, I think those are very important and we need to still talk about those. But somewhere along the line, I think that turned into like demonizing money and wealth. And I think that's kind of a problem because conservatives almost have this monopoly now on prosperity, when in fact we know that different solutions and policies that the left can offer actually can map out a better path for financial security, prosperity, even financial freedom, right? We talk about freedoms all the time, but we don't really talk about financial freedom and how many doors that opens up in other areas of your life when you get to a place where you have that. Like if you are able to make enough money that you can pay all your bills and put some away and have an emergency fund, then if you live in a state where there isn't access to abortion, you can have the funds to travel to do that if you need to. You're more likely to be able to afford litigation if you need to go to court for something. More likely to be able to run for office if you've been able to build up multiple revenue streams that still bring in money and you're spending a year doing something that doesn't pay anything. And you can still have money, make money, and share money without it being greedy. I think we need to figure out a narrative where we're not just always talking against big corporations or whatever. There are a lot of issues with big corporations and the way that monopolies work in this country, but there's also a lot of things that we all rely on that the big corporations bring. And I think we just need to be really careful that we're not spending so much time dunking on businesses and people who are financial success that people start to think that by voting for Democratic policies, they'll never reach financial success. So for instance, don't just say corporation XYZ is corrupt and my opponent supports them. Say, here's the problem with corporation XYZ. If they just wanted to do what they're telling you they want to do, it would be one thing. But what's happening behind the scenes is that their profits are X and the wages for the employees are stagnant. And furthermore, they're actively involved in litigation to squash out smaller and mid-sized companies in the same sector. That's your businesses, your main streets, and that's what I'm going to be fighting for. We live in a really rough economy right now, and we can and should continue to talk about stories and policies like childcare and minimum wage and things that allow people to just get by, because a lot of people can't. But here's the thing, those are baseline. We should talk about them consistently. They should be a given. And then we should add on to that by painting a picture of what the future could look like. The process of getting access to more resources, to build more wealth, whatever that means for you and your family, to be able to pay the bills and take your kids on vacation once a year without stressing out, to be able to leave a legacy to your family when you're gone. We cannot continue to put all our eggs in the morality basket. Of course, most people want good things for themselves and their communities, but at the end of the day, there is a ton of data that shows that voters are just really concerned about what's impacting them every day. And we gotta stop belittling that and saying that's selfish. People just want to build a good life for themselves. So we need to figure out how to talk about the basics and protecting those and making sure people can live their lives, and also being more aspirational about the lives we can build for them if we enact some of these policies.